Today I am here to talk about the links between fishing cats, which has incidentally given me a purpose in life, the link between fishing cats and us. A unique member of the wildcat family, which consists of 40 odd members. A unique cat because it has unique traits. Can you imagine a cat having webbed-like feet like a duck's? Well, partially, but the fishing cat does have webbed feet like a duck's. It likes fish and it likes to plunge into the water to go after its primary prey, which is the fish. Now, those of us who have kept domestic cats in our homes know that they love fish too, but they would never go near water to catch them. They hate water, and that's what happens to 90% of the wildcat family members, but not for fishing cats. They love fish and they have been given traits cherry-picked by nature to colonize and thrive in wetlands and hunt fish in water. For example, it has a water repellent coat so that it can dive into water to catch fish, and yet the skin underneath stays dry. The wildcat is thus a perfect denizen of wetland ecosystems. Wetlands, the most threatened ecosystems on the planet, and an ecosystem which is tied to our fates. But we will come to that later. Let's first talk about the fishing cat. After all, this is Fishing Cat February, a month-long international event that raises education and awareness on the fishing cat in order to raise the profile of this lesser known species and inculcate care towards conservation of this species in the global consciousness. So, what does a fishing cat look like? Let's see. As you can see, it's the size of a domestic dog or a golden jackal, for example, but it looks like a tiger. In Bengal, it is called the Baghrol or the Machbagha. In Odia, the Baghari or the Bagheta. Notice the repetitive occurrence of the word Bagh in its names. In India, Bagh means the tiger. No wonder the fishing cat has a tiger-like personality. In Cambodia, it is called the Kla Tray or the fish tiger. In fact, even today, they are engraved in the sculptures of Angkor Wat, a global heritage site and the remains of an ancient civilization that once thrived in the floodplains of the mighty Mekong River. The cat has probably always commonly co-occurred with humans in the major river basins of South and Southeast Asia, which have cradled human civilizations. Think of the Indus and the Ganges. In fact, almost 90% of the fishing cat's global distribution range lies outside protected areas in close proximity to people. Researchers have in fact found that the fishing cat has an above average mass appeal among the general global public. Thus, they have the quality of a flagship species for freshwater ecosystems, without which life as we know it would not exist on the planet. What are we without fresh waters? Can we go without fresh water, without our drinking water for even a day? That is how critical freshwater ecosystems are to our survival as well as the survival of numerous species on the planet. Yet, this very critical ecosystem is highly threatened. It's twice as much threatened as our forests and seas are, twice as much threatened. Now, despite the fact that it houses an amazing array of biodiversity and life forms, it houses more than 1/3 of the known vertebrate species on the planet, despite freshwater ecosystems taking up just 0.1% of the Earth's surface. That's the importance. Think of the otters and turtles and dolphins and fishes. All of these find homes in freshwater ecosystems. But we are losing wetlands very, very fast to intensive aquaculture, intensive agriculture, intensive shrimp culture, urbanization and development. Now, with each percentage of wetland loss, we are losing a vital lifeline to our sustenance. Think of it, we are losing our nutrient baskets, our water pots and carbon sinks which are our only essential shields against climate change, droughts and probably war. And we can still work to preserve the remaining ones. And in the process, we can give ourselves and the fishing cat a fighting chance to survive. At the Fishing Cat project, we believe in connecting or linking fishing cat conservation to healthy, functional wetland ecosystems and human sustenance. We work to instill this understanding that the fishing cat's fate mirrors ours. We have been working with multiple stakeholders, including primarily local communities, government organizations and non-government partners, using pluralistic approaches, from using participatory science initiatives to engaging artists to create empathy on the fishing cat. For example, in Chilika, Asia's largest brackish water lagoon, a national and international ecological asset, we have been working with the local communities to train them to monitor fishing cats in their surroundings and to work in consonance with government agencies to reduce threats to the fishing cats, to the ecosystem and to the human communities. One of the major threats affecting Chilika's ecosystem is the cancerous spread of intensive aquaculture. But traditionally, in these same wetlands which are being converted, a very special rice variety is cultivated. These are very tall, they can grow up to 6 to 8 feet, and when the flood waters come, they do not rot. In fact, they grow by accumulating or assimilating the nutrients brought in by the flood waters during monsoon. So, the people also do not use chemicals or fertilizers or pesticides to grow these crops, because what's the use? The flood waters are going to wash them away. So, imagine these are the same organic crops that we often crave for, which comes without toxins and chemicals and are being grown traditionally. A healthy and safe alternative is available, but because we don't know much about it, and because the economic returns from these crops are low, people often lease out their land for intensive aquaculture. Now, these rice farms also provide seasonal habitat to the fishing cat. However, like I mentioned, the economic returns from these rice varieties are low, and thus many local residents lease off their land for illegal intensive aquaculture. Now, aren't people in the cities often blamed for their tendencies to overconsume and for leaving negative footprints on the earth? What if we can harness this power to consume and instead use it to eat this wetland rice, in the process raising the profile of this wetland rice and creating a market value so that people get good benefits, good economic returns from this wetland rice varieties and stop leasing out their land for intensive aquaculture. This time we would be creating a positive difference, setting a positive footprint by eating or by consuming naturally farmed and conservation friendly wetland rice varieties, and promoting such a traditional sustainable livelihood practice will not only benefit local livelihoods, but also benefit the fishing cats and us. It will be a win-win for the fishing cats, us and local people. We can join hands to use our abilities to build a better future, creating a little more time space for these amazing creatures to adapt to the rapid change that is pulling the rug from beneath its feet too fast for it to keep up. I have always believed that each and every one of us has the power to contribute to conservation, to a better planet, to a better future, where the fishing cats will roam around peacefully.